Ever since the Starfield Direct, I've been rewatching that showcase footage at least once a day. Mostly because, well, you know, it's my job, and when I'm recording, the footage is usually on the screens in front of me, so I can see what I'm talking about, but also to see if there's anything I missed. And I know that we literally just did one of these videos like last week, but hey, I noticed 10 new things that I haven't seen anybody else really talk about. So sit back and relax, and let's go over 10 things that you probably missed in Starfield Direct. Now, of all of the ones on the list, this is probably the one that you will know, but either way, this kinda sucks in my opinion. You'll notice throughout the entire showcase/direct footage that every time we kill an enemy, their armor/spacesuit, or any kind of clothing really, doesn't appear in their inventory. This is actually one of my biggest issues with Fallout 76, that we can't loot everything like we usually can in Bethesda Game Studios games. And it looks like they are unfortunately doing the same kind of thing with Starfield, although it's very strange because everything else, at least from what we can see, is lootable here, just not the spacesuit. Now, I have seen some theories on this. People are saying maybe this inventory we're looking at here is just a quick inventory and we have to actually push to the transfer button to see absolutely everything that the dead NPC is carrying. I'm not sure if I buy into this, but I really do hope so, because I'll be very disappointed if I kill an enemy with cool armor only to find out that I can't even take said armor. If this is the case, it does feel silly to me, because Bethesda surely must know that this is something people want, and if it's not in the game, it will just be yet another thing modders have to add for Bethesda. In Starfield, we actually have two different time zones. Just a quick one here, but if we look at the inventory part of the showcase, we can see that it's currently 4:54 PM on this planet, but we can also see that it's 6:06 AM in UT, which I'm assuming stands for Universal Time. I've wondered for a long time how Starfield will handle time when it comes to flying your ship around, and NPC schedules, etc, so it's cool to see that we have a universal time that assumingly every character in the game will probably follow.
Oh, actually, that's good. The first one is talking about the armor. So it says, we are going to lose some. If we kill an enemy, and we cannot loot this armor, maybe you don't have to, or actually, this could be happen that the guy that was killed that doesn't wear the armor because it's the first level or second, third level enemy. So that's why they didn't wear a armor. That could be reason, but yeah, let's hope when the game comes to release, then we know. And the second point is he talk about the what he talk about? Yeah, the universal time. So he talk about the universal time means there is a local time. If if you go into planet and there was a time schedule around, according to their clock and according to their systems, and there was a universal time which according to whole universe. Okay, yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see what other we missed.
Now, just last week, Todd Howard did confirm that our level up badges can actually be worn on our spacesuits, which is pretty awesome. I assume that this will be a part of customization, and we can choose the badges we want to wear, and every time we level up we'll unlock a new badge, but this may also be a sort of Constellation spacesuit only kind of thing. If we take a look at this shot of Barrett, we can see him wearing what looks like some of the same badges, but I want to speculate a little here. We can also see down here that Barrett has his name on his suit. Now, we haven't seen any evidence of this. Like I said, I am just slightly speculating here, especially because of what Todd said the other day about badges, but wouldn't it be cool if we could do this too? Maybe we're limited to a certain amount of letters/characters, but it would be awesome if when customizing our Constellation spacesuit, we could write our own names in the same place. Anyway, moving on. By now, I'm sure that you've all heard about Sam Coe, the former space cowboy from Aquila City, who has now joined up with Constellation. It's unclear whether or not Sam is still a part of the Freestar Collective or the Freestar Rangers. However, if we take a look at this shot of Aquila City and zoom in on these signs, we can clearly see that one of them reads Coe Plaza, which maybe could be connected to Sam. Perhaps he's a Freestar Collective war hero and has a plaza named after him. Or maybe he's more important to Aquila City than Bethesda is letting on, and could even own his own entire plaza. We just don't know, but considering Sam is from here, I don't think that it's a coincidence that he shares a name with one of the main places in the city. And just very quickly while we're here, I want to point out this info kiosk. It seems to be some kind of terminal that we can use when we want to get some information on the city, maybe its stores, and even perhaps some of its citizens and history. This is a cool feature. I hope that we can actually use this and it isn't just a display thing, and in fact, you can actually see these in every single city that was shown off.
Yeah, that's actually really cool. I didn't notice. I'm actually kind of thinking about the robot actually when I see this footage. But I never noticed this machine. Yeah, it's something that could be. You know? It's maybe an ATM machine or like that because people are waiting for it, or maybe it's something wanting to know about the details or something. It could be like a ATM machine because I'm seeing people are waiting. Not everybody, not everybody want to know about any others. Or maybe I'm wrong. Let's see.
Now at the skill section of this massive showcase, we can briefly see a scene where our character picks a locked door open using digipicks, but unlike the last showcase, we can actually see a little animation of our character holding up the digipick. This is something new for Bethesda. We've never seen an animation of our character actually doing something to pick the lock. And considering this wasn't present in Starfield's last showcase from last year, it's safe to say that it's small things like this that Bethesda has spent the last year or so adding, while of course also working on bug fixes and performance and all of that usual stuff. This is still really nice to see. I've always thought that animations in Bethesda games were kinda lacking. I'd love to actually have an animation of me eating a sweet roll in Skyrim, for example, or drinking a Nuka-Cola in Fallout 4, so it's great to see that Bethesda have upped their animations for Starfield. About 30 minutes into the showcase footage, we can see our character walking around what's described as a quote, cruise ship for the wealthy elites, end quote. Well, in this shot you can see a hanging banner that reads Terran Preservation Society, and obviously Terra is the actual name for Earth used by scientists. Now what's more is, if we take a look at this shot, we know that this is Earth because this structure right here is actually the Gateway Arch. Now look at the surroundings. It looks like Earth has been hit by a massive, terrible case of global warming. And even when we take a look at Earth in the Sol system map, we can see that it doesn't look green or blue like we're used to. And from this banner alone, but also with all of the other evidence on top of this that I just mentioned, it seems to me that Earth has almost been completely destroyed by global warming. And I'm very excited to go and explore it when I get my hands on Starfield.
Yeah, actually, there are some pretty hints about that. Actually, I've read some tweets about that. In Starfield, Earth is going to be a dusty planet like Mars. Yeah, that's kind of cool. We are going to see some dismantle things. Let's see about Paris Eiffel Tower, or maybe that thing you showed. That's not the only thing that is stay there. There are many things. Maybe we can see there is a Fallout bunker thing type. We cannot enter it, but yeah, we can see a gate or something. Actually, I'm talking about the Fallout. It could be happen that the story of Fallout is the nuke was the something World War. The nuke was launched and it hits the Earth and destroy the every civilization. Um, and not every civilization around them, but not who's going to underground. They say so that could be the reason. Yeah, the nuke destroy the Earth. Yeah, that could be the reason to they can making a story of Fallout before their game, past game, and uh, turning into future by Starfield. You know, this could be something that we can see. Let's see if we can see that in game or something.
Another just very quick one here in this very quick shot. We can see that this is a moon. It looks like a planet, right? Biological features, water, grass, rocks, trees and even mountains. But if we look down here, it does say that this is a moon, just a weird detail that I wanted to quickly gloss over. Yet another very quick one here. We can see in this shot with the skeleton that a robot that looks a lot like Vasco is walking around near us. Now assuming that this is Vasco, he's black with a hint of blue in this shot, not his classic white and red. We've mentioned before on the channel how Bethesda test things for their next game in their previous game's DLC. And of course Bethesda's core team's last big game was Fallout 4 8 years ago, which came with a DLC called Automatron that lets you build, create and fully customise your own robot companions. And people love this system, they still talk about it to this day. So of course just a bit of speculation here again, but it would be awesome if this is in fact Vasco and we can at least change the colour around of his scheme. Now if we go all the way back to basically the start of this showcase, when we watched the part about New Atlantis and it's all being nice and shown off, you can see a building called SSNN, aka Settled Systems News Network, showing that Starfield does have an entire news network inside of it. Now whether or not this is actually something we can, watch or listen to on our ships or something like that is still unknown, but I really hope we can. It would be great to turn on a radio after taking down a fleet of ships or something and then hear a news report about it. Now this is by far the most interesting thing I found so far, and this is the last one on the list. Now what is very weird about this is that when we're introduced to Constellation, they go over everyone. Vasco, Barat, Vlad, Noel, Sarah, Mateo, Sam and Walter. But notice, we don't know who this lady is. She's the odd one out. Now again, in this shot we can see everyone. We see Vasco here, Barat here, Noel, Mateo, Sarah, Sam, Walter and Vlad. But we have no idea who this lady is. And as far as I can tell, this is the only shot we see of her throughout the entire 45-minute showcase. Now of course, stating the obvious, it is possible that this is us, our character, although I just doubt it. She also appears to have some kind of robotic arm or maybe a weird tattoo over her arm. This is just very strange to me because, as I said, throughout this showcase we got introduced to literally every single member of Constellation, but Bethesda kept this woman out. Maybe her story or background is too spoilery? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but this is definitely interesting. Anyway, that is 10 things that you've probably missed from the Starfield Direct. Let me know what you think about all of these things in the comments below, especially that weird Constellation Woman. If you enjoyed the video, I kindly ask that you leave it a like, as it really helps out the channel and myself more than you can imagine. And of course, if you are new around here and you want to stay up to date on Starfield leaks, news, discussions, breakdowns and plenty of other content like that, consider subscribing. This is absolutely the place for you. And lastly, as always, a big thank you to our channel members. I really cannot thank you all enough for your amazing support. And that is going to do it for me today though, so thank you so much for watching, and I really hope to see you next time. Peace.
Bro, yeah, we actually pretty much miss. Actually, the video was great. The video was great, and he talk about many things. But yeah, there are many things that maybe he does not catch or something. Well, there are many things that we have to work on, and I know this guy or other creators are going to do that, missing details that we missed, and something like that. Yeah, so yeah, that's a great video. And if you want to watch that type of more video, you can check his channel. I give it the link, and his channel name was Light, and you can subscribe me for my video reaction. Thank you.